It's not World War III, but it is a war that's now affecting the whole world. By just 2 countries launching an attack less than 2 weeks ago, today at least 20 different countries are now involved in some military capacity, meaning it may be the closest we've been to a world war in decades. According to Axios, it's now drawn in more countries, more great powers, and more overlapping conflicts than any crisis since the Cold War. So here are the main 3 ways that this war will touch almost the entire planet. Yes, even you, Africa. Firstly, allied countries have become targets. See, because the US military have bases in many countries around Iran, they were the first to be dragged in and started receiving a huge barrage of missile and drone attacks, a number of which made impact. And on top of the casualties, damages, and millions forked out in defense missiles, for many, like the UAE's Dubai, it's caused major cracks in their safe holiday destination image that they've worked so hard to create. Secondly, the US and Israel didn't inform allied countries they were about to attack, which left governments around the world scrambling to evacuate their citizens and make quick rush decisions on their own involvement. For many, that caused major political backlash at home, especially since UK bases were attacked and NATO defense systems had to get involved. And the third and most wide-reaching consequence of all, prices.
Oil prices are now up 70%. It's going to be the largest monthly move of all time, and it's only the 9th of March.
Of all time as in all time, all time?
All time.
Now, we've already heard how important the Strait of Hormuz is and how the 97% drop in ship traffic is gonna hit our pockets real soon. But few are talking about how not all countries will feel this crisis the same. Take Sudan, for example, who are already facing the worst humanitarian crisis on Earth. Well, they import a staggering 54% of their fertilizer from the Gulf region. Remember, this is a country that already has 21 million people facing acute hunger. That's around 40% of their entire population. And it's not just Sudan, because when oil prices go up, so too does the price of food. And you know, for some, that means the weekly shop gets more expensive, but for others, that means they starve. So yeah, this war may be physically regional, but the consequences are global, and it only gets worse the longer it drags out. It's not World War III, but it is a war that's now affecting the whole.
So, yeah, it's all doom and gloom around the world by the looks of it, and I didn't want to talk too much about the war this week. That's why I let Dylan take it over, and we really got a jam-packed show for you tonight. The markets are getting spicy. Crypto is doing its usual thing, the roller coaster, and the TCG market, oh man, guys, Pokemon, One Piece, all of it are entering the Wall Street, and this is what I've been talking about for months. Wall Street is taking notice about how the Pokemon market is making more money than the S&P 500, and that's what I've been telling all of you. So we're going to discuss this all today. And welcome everybody back to Blockdesk News. I'm your host Ed. If you're new here, every week what we do is we break down the global markets, crypto, and of course the trading card markets, all through the investor's lens. So if that's something that you like, do hit the subscribe button and let us know what you think about our show today. And to start things off, let's talk about stocks and tariffs. And the most important and the most glooming question at the moment is that there's a recession signal that's looming over everybody. And here's the real headline at the moment. The S&P 500 has had a rough start in 2026. I think all of our lives had a rough start in 2026. Let's be honest about that. So, look. It's fallen more than 3% year to date, and we just hit valuation levels not seen since the dot-com crash. The CAPE ratio, that cyclically adjusted price earning to ratio, hit 39.8 in February. So the last time this happened was in October 2000. And this is not really good news. At the moment, what's going on? The tariffs are biting. Goldman Sachs data shows US companies and consumers are absorbing 82% of the tariffs cost themselves. So Trump's big idea in the market was to create these tariffs, which apparently other companies from not the US are going to be paying. But at the end of the day, 82% of the US companies are paying these tariffs. And what is going to happen to these companies? They're going to realize it's cheaper to move abroad. So the economy not in America is going to get better potentially. But moving companies takes a while. Of course, it takes 7-8 years. So it might see a good increase now, which is not, which the plan is not working. But eventually they will move out. The job growth was the most since the Great Recession, excluding COVID. So here's the thing at the moment. This doesn't mean a crash is guaranteed. AI spending is propping up the GDP all over the world. At the moment, the whole world is basically ran by AI companies when it comes to supporting the financial systems. And we all know that, we all guess that AI is going to have a bubble. AI companies themselves are overvalued 100%. So what's my take on all of this? Of course, don't panic. That's never good to sell. If you're holding AI stocks, don't go crazy selling everything. But this is not the time to be reckless. And my recommendation is this. If you're holding overvalued AI stocks with no conviction, and in my opinion, all AI stocks are currently overvalued, right now is a smart time to trim. So move your holdings around into other industries, which we will discuss on this show today. So what you want to do is actually you want to build your cash at the moment. And I don't know if for any of you who have not heard about this, Warren Buffett holds $344 billion in cash at the moment via his company. And this is the most he's ever held, his company ever held, Berkshire has ever held in its history. What does this tell you as a viewer? Well, this is what this tells you is that he's been around through all the markets. He's been through it all. He knows when something is overvalued and he's waiting for the bubble to pop. Holding this much cash and selling so much stock is a clear indicator that he's waiting for something to happen. He's holding this cash to buy all the stocks at cheap. So we are potentially, based on just this one simple fact, we are literally looking at a big market crash, a big recession. And with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, it's very likely to happen. And moving on into that, to support what I am saying, gold is at $5,000. Silver is going parabolic again. So what does this mean for your portfolio? And we all know that whenever there's war, whenever there's big problems like recession, people buy these rare metals like gold and silver. So gold is 5,000 an ounce, and it's not a typo. As of March the 9th, gold was trading at 5,092 per ounce. I did not block any comment. I'm not blocking comments at all. So feel free to comment anything you want, especially about Trump. I do not mind at all, my brother. So gold is 5,000. Silver is at 2,200 per ounce. I was trying to buy the silver chain the other day. It's so bloody expensive. It's JP Morgan is now forecasting a push to 5,400 by the end of the year. So some analysts say 6,000 per ounce of gold is not a crazy thing to say. And this is just showing people are stocking up money, people are stocking up gold. There's potentially something that's going to happen within the world economy. And let's look at the wilder story. Silver broke $55 at the end of 2025. $55, just keep that in mind. YouTube blocked it, man. Like, if YouTube is blocking comments about Trump, is saying a lot, man, because he's doing some crazy things around the world and it's not really helping our investments. It's not helping my pockets, is it? So yeah, going back to that, it was $55 at the end of 2025, a level that was ceiling for 13 years. 13 years silver was at this level, and this year it broke it. It went parabolic. It's now what analysts are calling price discovery territory. So silver is in the price discovery mode, just like they're saying Bitcoin is apparently. And it's roughly up 120% from its down 120% from its recent lows, up, sorry. Why? Because demand for solar panels, EVs, AI data centers, and semiconductors is rising every year. This is what I was telling you every week on this show. Silver, copper, it's all being used. Silver, copper, it's all being used within these AI data centers. So if you're going to be investing, you want to invest into the actual companies which support AI data centers. So the companies who provide cooling, the companies like gold, like rare metals, which are required within these data centers, basically. So here's my take on all of this for you as the viewer. If you've been sleeping on precious metals, you need to wake up, you need to be buying them. I'm not saying go all in, but having 5 to 15% of your portfolio in gold and silver as a hedge right now when stock are overvalued, this is a really good move. And the beautiful thing, if you're a crypto head, basically, you can buy gold and silver now with crypto. You don't need to actually go on the stock market. There's many Solana based gold and silver cryptocurrencies which have the exact same price. So do check that out. I highly recommend if you are looking to get into that. Gold ETFs like GDL, IAU make it easy for you as well. So if you want to get into ETFs, and if you live in the US, it's much easier. Silver miners like SIL, if you want more leverage. And platinum, palladium are interesting too at the moment. They're industrial metals playing a role in the same AI-driven infrastructure story. So platinum and palladium are also being used in AI. These data centers are using a lot copper, aluminium, platinum. Analysts say these have room, to grow basically. And that's what I highly recommend for all of you to check out. Now, moving into crypto itself, Bitcoin it's hovering around the 70,000 mark at the moment. It went below 70K. Ethereum is also did an upgrade, and the Iran war has been affecting crypto. So let's get all into this. So Bitcoin is hovering around 69,000, 71,000 this whole week. It briefly pushed above 73,000 earlier, and then it kept on pulling back. A lot of manipulation is going on at the moment. And I actually saw this. I don't know if any of you have seen this stuff. Jane Street got exposed for dumping the price of Bitcoin every day at 10 a.m. I would assume this is America time. So they used an algorithm using Bitcoin ETFs. And this is the thing. These ETFs have literally ruined the discovery price of Bitcoin. And every day at 10 a.m., they do a big sell-off of Bitcoin and buy back off at lower prices. So they're stocking up on Bitcoin. And look, it's 10. Look at these 10 a.m. slams every day, bang, bang, and then people panic sell and then they buy, panic sell and buy, and they're being sued for doing this at the moment. So the amount of manipulation in crypto is absolutely insane. Now, here's the really interesting paradox that people, and we discussed this a little bit last week. So Bitcoin is caught between two narratives right now. On one hand, it's supposed to be digital gold, a safe haven, right? Which it's not. We discussed this last week. It's a settlement layer, especially like in Iran at the moment. People are using it as a settlement layer, as a safe way to move money around. And on the other hand, also, it still trades like a risk asset. When institutions get scared, which narrative is really going to win? And as I just showed you, institutions are literally manipulating it. But it just tells you one thing. They're all stocking up on it and making us scared. And there's no retail. There's no liquidity in the market, right? There's nothing. So this just tells you this is the time to really be buying. So institutions are bullish. Bitcoin ETFs inflow despite pullbacks. ETFs snapped 5-week outflow streak of 787 million inflow last week. BlackRock's IBIT alone pulled 263 million in a single Monday session. That's whale money buying the dip, literally. And then Ethereum also, so Ethereum has had some really interesting news at the moment. it's done its network schedule update. So Ethereum, I know Vitalik Buterin, what he's doing at the moment, he's looking at quantum computers, and he's worried that they're going to crack the security of Bitcoin. And Ethereum is one of those projects that has an active head, Vitalik, right? So he's going to be focusing on this. I strongly think that Ethereum is going to be one of those cryptos that will never die, even if Bitcoin does. Ethereum might lead the market in the future. So it's had an update. I think many of you must have had some issues with drawing and moving around. So Bitmain made headlines updating their ETH holdings, sitting at 4.5 million ETH, valued nearly $10 billion. Vitalik confirmed the Ethereum Foundation is staking 72,000 Ethereum via a new distributor validator setup to improve decentralization. So this is my thoughts personally, my honest take. If you're long-term bullish on crypto, corrections like this are an opportunity, especially if you're looking at 10 a.m. This is every day at 10 a.m. US time. This is when you should be buying Bitcoin. Tell me if it works. Like, if that information is true, then that would be a crazy thing. And the most important thing at the moment, the Clarity Act, the US has been stalling it. Banks and crypto are basically having this war. They're literally fighting each other. It's absolutely insane. The banks they can't compete with the yield that crypto provides. And this Clarity Act is basically going to allow legally these stablecoin yields to be utilized by individuals. And, you know, when you stake your USDT, the amount you earn is much more than you're going to earn if you leave money in your bank. And banks are scared of this, and they want to do everything to destroy crypto, basically. And that's what they've been pushing. So, yeah, it's a lot of manipulation going on. And that brings me on to the next talking points. And there's a few projects that I've been looking at. I'm sure you know quite a few of them, but I think it's important to discuss them because they've really been standing out to myself. So I've got 3 gems for you. Actually, I've got 4 gems for you this week. So let's start off with Sui Network. This has been one of the standout layer ones of 2025 and 2026 cycle. And I'm sure many of you haven't really even thought about Sui, right? We all know it, but we don't really utilize it. So it's built on Move programming language. It offers parallel processing and a security model that older chains can't match. Even during the February crash, Sui total value locked held stable. So Sui has been really stable during all these crashes, and when the markets recover, capital tends to rotate into layer ones with local ecosystems. And that's what Sui is at the moment. So it's definitely an undervalued layer one blockchain that you should be looking into. Alongside that, Link protocol. I'm sure all of you know about Link. It's often called the most undervalued blue chip in crypto. Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol, CCIP, has become the standard for banks. And this is the most important thing. Banks are starting to connect with XRP, with Chainlink, and it has become, the standard to moving data between private and public blockchains. It owns 90% of DeFi Oracle market. It's super undervalued. Link tends to lag the initial Bitcoin pump, but historically catches up hardcore ecosystem as it matures. So it's definitely a company I would recommend looking into. It's an undervalued asset, and Link is not going anywhere. Moving on into a little bit of an AI section, Fetch AI SAI Alliance. In 2026 is the year of AI agents, as we all know. And all signs point to, yes, the Artificial Super Intelligent Alliance is worth watching. So I highly recommend checking out Fetch AI. Let me send this actually in the chat for all of you. This is one not to miss. Vitalik created panic. You know what? You're right. Vitalik did create panic. He's been selling off his Ethereum like crazy. You're very right on that point. And I don't know why. There's not really any sources as to why he's selling so much. Maybe he knows something that we don't, or maybe you guys know. I don't know myself personally. But Fetch AI is at the forefront of autonomous AI systems on chain. ICP and FET both outperformed this week, even when Bitcoin was down. And also, I want to give a quick shout out. Now, this is, if any of you invest, if you invest $1, if you invest $2, Ko-Fi.com is one of the most unique projects I've seen on the market so far. And let me just explain to you how it works. So Ko-Fi focuses on KOLs, people who give shout outs and who say, invest in this token, invest in this token. But this platform shows you the KOLs and how they've been performing. So for example, you can click on the monthly cycle and see that Yeezus Profits has done the 5x average and has a 100% win rate over 8 calls. You can click on him and you can find him on Telegram, and then you can follow him basically. So this platform basically tells you which influencers are fake and which are real and doing real calls and how much they're making their communities. And alongside this, you can find tokens on the platform which are being called, and it shows you which influencers are calling these tokens and how many. So think about this. For example, Distorted, the new emoji on the iPhone, it has 22 calls this week. So 22 KOLs are talking about it. You can see who called it first. 2 days ago, this dude did a 26x on the call. And you can see how many people are calling it, what the market cap is, and you can make a decision if you want to invest in this token based on how many people are calling it, how good the actual influencers are, if they're scam artists or not. And then you can just click on the token and then check it out, how well it's doing. And to be honest, like looking at this, look how it's lined up. It's lined up perfectly. This looks like a really great investment. Let me send you guys this. Yeah, right? Like 35. Like Ko-Fi is definitely a platform worth checking out. I highly recommend you just looking into it. And it also has like a referral. I'm gonna send my referral so you guys can all join up. And then you can refer other people also to the platform. I think he said something about make referrals is going to be worth it. So potentially there's an airdrop coming. So do join up on this and maybe you'll get an airdrop in the future. Who knows? Also, personally, I'm keeping, moving a little bit away from this. I'm keeping an eye on Solana, which is the fire dance. Of course, Solana is always going to be a chain that's going to be, you know, populated by degens, but it's going to have a lot of liquidity. Near Protocol, which has had a strong week also, and hyper liquid whales are piling in to leverage Bitcoin and Ethereum longs, betting on a breakout above $75,000. So anyone listening to this, $75,000 on Bitcoin is where we break out at the moment. Now, talking a little bit about AI, and I actually bought a Mac Mini, and I'm going to start a new series where I'm going to install Claude Bot into my Mac Mini and show all of you how to do it and show how difficult it is to do. So if you're interested in that, do subscribe, because I'm going to teach, or I'm going to learn with all of you how we can basically use Claude Bot and AI agents to make money. And that's the key here about this channel. So quick one about this. Claude Code, that's Anthropic's AI coding tool, normally costs $100 to $200 a month, the paid plan. But right now, there's a method which is going viral where you can basically run it completely free without a paid plan. So let me show you code free on local models. Here is the link. I'm going to send it here as well. Sending a lot of links. But we're very, very good, because like Claude is so much better than ChatGPT. I personally hate ChatGPT. It's not as smart as we all thought. It doesn't answer my questions as I wanted, and Claude does that. And now there's a way that you can basically get it for free. Anyone listening to this video again, or if you're looking at this on the shorts, I'll leave the link down on our YouTube channel in the description, basically. So you can run these local models for free, basically. The setup went viral on X. One tweet got over 51,000 views in 48 hours. Basically, you download Olama, you pull an open source model like Qwen Free, and then point Claude Code's interface at your local machine instead of Anthropic's cloud. So no API keys, no monthly bills, runs decent on Mac and PCs with 16 gig RAM. And MacBook especially is good for this. Why does this matter for us, basically? Because the tools that crypto builders and developers are using are getting cheaper and more accessible each week. The barrier between Web3 is collapsing. So look, everybody, I'm sure you remember, everybody was saying AI will take our jobs. But the reality is that it's the people that know how to use AI and AI agents and Claude bot, they're the people who are going to take other people's jobs, because the CEO of the company doesn't know how to use AI agents. The CEO of the company does not know how to use AI. Do you know what he needs? He needs somebody who does. And it's so simple to do. Like I said, I'm going to start a brand new show. I'm going to make videos for all of you where I'll walk you through how I'm setting up my Mac Mini with Claude bot, and then so you can do that as well. So that's a really exciting time, I think, that we're going to have on this show very, very soon. And you can do this on Mac and Windows as well. Now, moving on to the TCG market. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. It's one of my favorite segments, and I'm sure for all of you is the same. And let's talk about Pokemon first. If you missed the Pokemon Presents February 27th for Pokemon Day, is basically there's been a big reveal. The teaser trailer showed let me show you the teaser trailer. Actually, it's right here. So what's going on here at the moment is that they're showing all the different rarities that there were before, and I think it's September or October this year, the 30th. Yes, so in October the new set is releasing. So the demand is going to be big. If you can pre-order these sets, great, but very likely you won't be able to. The Charizard-based Crystal Lugia, Gold Stars, so those are the old ones. If you can find grand copies at reasonable prices, this is what I recommend. And look, the stock market has been looking into this, and this is what I've been talking about for a very long time at the moment. Look at this. Meme strategy has started buying actual Pokemon cards off the market. They started buying the Pikachu Van Gogh, and Wall Street is basically taking notice. This is what I've been telling all of you. It's happening right now. Wall Street is taking notice, and we are starting to get basically the stock market investing into these PSA 10 copies. They have invested over $94 million into these PSA 10 copies. They acquired roughly 25% of these Pikachus. They're not being authenticated and assured, and they're not being stored in museums, which is pretty crazy. So what does this mean for the TCG market? This is the signal the market has been waiting for. When institutions and capital publicly listed companies with licensed fund structures start flowing into graded markets, it validates the entire collectibles market as the asset class. The global collectibles market is projecting to hit $628 billion by 2031. And this is just the beginning. This is crazy. It was a kid's collectible, and this is why we do this every week on the show. I'm telling you, if you look into One Piece, for example, the One Piece third anniversary, and all of you know this, the OP17, it went crazy, and it sold out. We've got so many messages from all of you saying, how can we pre-order it? All the pre-orders are sold out. And right now, the third anniversary set in English is out now. So it's a premium set themed around three brothers, Ace, Sabo, and Luffy. and we walk exclusive promo cards, as you can see. It's priced at around 120 bucks. Good luck at getting it 120 bucks. I have the Japanese version behind me, but the English version is going to be much harder to get. But these promo cards, they're so valuable, and if you're able to fetch one of these, then I highly recommend it. So as an investor's take, let's put this all together. As of April the 3rd, the next release you should be watching right now is OP15, which is coming up. OP15, yes. So OP15, then it's going to be OP16. And for OP17, if you're investors, you try to get that now. And of course, Dragon Ball Z TCG is also worth a mention. If you haven't been watching the market, the launch has been creating some solid opportunities. So Dragon Ball Z is definitely one to watch out for. Alongside this, I always like to find you guys something a little bit more cheaper. If you can't afford these crazy one-piece cards, I highly recommend for you to check out this Naruto Kaio card list. I've got a pack right here, and every box that you buy of this, you get a promo card like this. You get this promo card free with every box, and one box, and you won't believe this, it's worth around $15. One box of these cards is worth 15 bucks. Now, the quality of these cards isn't that great, but it's so cheap. And with the Naruto, the new Naruto Mythos TCG coming out, which I discussed on my previous shows, the likelihood of this going up is very high. So if you're looking into investing into cards, into the TCG market, and you can't afford these crazy prices, I highly recommend you check out Naruto Kaiyou edition. This is a recommendation for me if you want to invest and you can't afford the crazy prices of the market at the moment. And of course, the pre-orders for One Piece, MSRP $120. Good luck finding it at that price. That's absolutely, yeah. So look, that's our rundown of the global news, the markets, the metal, the crypto card, then the trading cards, all in one go, basically. The market, the stock market, tariffs are hurting gold. Gold is at 5,000. Be cautious and diversify into metals at the moment. Bitcoin is consolidating around 70,000. Ethereum upgrades, institutions buying dips via ETFs. SUI, Link, and FET on the watch list. Pokémon 30th anniversary set is going to be massive. The Mew and the Mewtwo rarities are, and OP17, September, October, those are the dates that you should be looking out for. Now let's move on to Super DApp as well. Speak of the devil, that's when I get the message. So there's quite a few updates on Super DApp. The AI agents that we planned, for the government proposal, the treasure hunt is finalized in development and is moving to internal testing phase. Syscoin is promoting hackathons in Latin America, including development of AI agents for SuperDApp. Due to increased usage, the platform last week identified some bugs on the AI agents feature, which have been promptly fixed. We continue efforts on migrating our infrastructure, improving operational efficiency on all services needed to keep SuperDApp running. And that brings me to the final part. We actually have a new grant proposal for SuperDApp to move us. I'm going to send it in the link here. SuperDApp, we've applied for a new grant to move us into ZK Sync. I highly recommend you check out the Syscoin Discord government proposal chats, where we discuss all of this, and if you can, vote yes for the proposal. Very exciting time. I'm personally very excited about the launch of ZK Sys itself, and moving from Roblox to ZK Sys is a massive move, and that's what we're preparing for. So what we're gonna do is build a liquid market on Base. We're creating a bridge. We're gonna move to Base, and hopefully we're going to get the base community and move them to ZK Sys. Really exciting move that's happening alongside quite a few changes. So do read that government proposal. But if you found today's show valuable, I am grateful for everybody who's joined, and I hope you subscribe, and I hope we'll see you next week. But that's it really for today. There's not much more updates which are happening, and we're going to see you all next week on Thursday. But that's it for today. I've been Ed, and we're back every Thursday. And yeah, glad to see everyone here. All the best, guys. Bye-bye.